If you want to know what's going on in Rockingham County government, check out Rockingham County 411. If you're interested in county governmental programs, projects, and services, don't miss Rockingham County 411. Public Information Officer Mabel Scott will share important, crucial news you can use with Rockingham County 411.
Rockingham County 411, you're in a good place. I'm Mabel Scott, your Public Information Officer, and today we have with us Rockingham County Board of Commissioners Chairman Charlie Hall, and we have the Executive Director of the United Way of Rockingham County, Casey Vincent, and they are going to tell you about a fantabulous grant that is coming to Rockingham County. Hello, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mabel.
Thank you for having us.
Rockingham County applied for and received a CDBG COVID-19 grant to assist Rockingham County residents with rent and/or utilities. Tell us about this grant, Chairman Hall.
This is a grant that will help those in the community who have been impacted due to COVID-19, either through restrictions or through loss of job, through the moratorium on payments or evictions. So this helps multitude of residents in many ways.
Now, the United Way of Rockingham County will be accepting and processing the application. So, Casey, tell us, how can residents apply for this grant?
Well, if they have access to the internet and online can print, our applications will be on the United Way of Rockingham County's website. But they can also apply on Mondays and Wednesdays here at the Governmental Center with me. Tuesdays, I will be out in Madison-Mayodan area, so the western part can apply on Tuesdays with me at the Madison-Mayodan Recreation Facility. And I will be in Reidsville on Thursdays, but I'm still working on a location. Once one's set, we'll get that up on the website and we'll get that information out.
That's excellent. So you're going to be there where people can touch you, especially if they don't have internet.
Exactly. If they need assistance in filling it out, they need to talk through things with me, we can do all of that. There will be blank applications left here that can be picked up at the DSS offices when I'm not in the building. But this is not a DSS program, but they can get the blank applications there and then call or come by to see me and I can help them fill it out.
Good, good. Chairman Hall, how much money can you possibly receive if I apply for the grant? How much money can I get?
The grant is up to $1,000 per household.
Okay.
And this money is not paid directly to the individual. It is paid to the utility company, for example, the power company or the water bill, or it pays to the landlord. So it does not pay directly to the individual, but it does count towards their bills.
And that's what you want?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you
to
want.
help people get current and avoid eviction or foreclosure or shut off from any utilities.
Yes, yes. So Casey, if a qualified person applies, how can he or she prove they had a major income loss during the COVID pandemic?
Well, there's several ways they can do that, and we're trying to be open and work with them in as many ways as possible. Obviously, tax returns between 2019 and 2020 can show a loss of income. If they were on unemployment because their facility shut down and they qualified for unemployment, if they can show a loss of income through that, we'll use that documentation. For the mom and pop type establishments, a lot of our non-chain restaurants and those type things, we're willing to take a letter from the employer on letterhead with contact information so we can call them back and verify. But we're willing to take letters like that will say, we shut down on March the 20th and did not reopen until July 1st of 2020 or something to that effect. As long as we can document the loss of income, we'll accept just about anything that will do that.
Okay, good. So, Casey, explain again and really emphasize to people those days, times, and locations where folks can find you.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
the lady.
First, it's on our website, uwrockingham.org, with all the requirements and the application that can be printed. I will be at the Governmental Center on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 5 with a 2-hour break in the middle of the day in case I need to run verification or do any of that kind of stuff. On Tuesdays, I will be in Madison Mayadan Recreation Commission, and Thursdays, I will be in Reedsville with the location yet to be determined.
And you've already given us the website. And what if people just have questions?
If they have questions that they can't get the answers to on the website or they don't have internet, they can always call the United Way office at 336-342-7768.
You want to give that number again?
336-342-7768.
Chairman Hall, why did you and all of the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners say we need to get involved with this?
Well, this grant came to light to us back in September of last year during the midst of all these lockdowns and,
Yes.
and with the COVID rates climbing, people losing jobs, businesses closing. And to me, this seemed like a wonderful way to be able to help our residents. This is money coming from the feds and the state. It's not affecting our local tax dollars or not, our local general fund is not being impacted. So it seemed like a great way to be able to help those in our community who are hurting. And so that's when we agreed in the fall to go ahead and apply for this grant. And we're just glad that it came. I hate that it took this long to get everything approved and get all the guidelines published. But there are still folks who are suffering, so we're glad to be able to help.
And you got the money.
Yes.
Thank God. Chairman Hall, has it been difficult, you think, for many of our constituents here?
Oh, yeah. With, again, businesses being closed, folks being laid off, the social distancing requirements impacted a lot of positions in jobs. So and the moratorium, and the other thing is that people don't think about it. You and I were talking earlier. Some people, they bought houses for their retirement plan.
They did.
And then with the moratorium on evictions, people couldn't pay their rent, they couldn't be evicted. You have people who've made investments in the community who are not able to reap those rewards that they should. So they've been negatively affected. So this is a way to help a broad spectrum of people, excuse me.
On Spectrum TV, 1304.
Exactly. So yeah, there's just been a lot of impact in the communities, and while we're hearing, with a lot of things being lifted, there's still continuing things that have been affected from that.
Yes. And Casey, you work with nonprofits. This is what you've done for years, so
Yes, ma'am.
you've seen it's been challenging, right?
This last 18 months has had the most detrimental impact on nonprofits across the board. When people are out of work,
Yes.
the need increases dramatically, but the giving cuts dramatically. At the United Way, we experienced a 65% decline in donations between 2018 and 2021. So I have understand exactly what it's like for our nonprofits out there who typically they want to help. When it's a much smaller scale, they would be filling in the gaps that these people are experiencing with being able to pay a water bill or something to that effect. But the amount needed is so high that the nonprofits can't do it alone. We needed the grant to come through from the federal government so that we can help those who need the assistance, because we just don't have the funding to do it on our own anymore. We needed the government to help.
And it's still okay to send you a check.
Absolutely. Every nonprofit on this planet will accept money 24/7, 365.
United Way is always there.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman Hall, if a person does qualify for the utility or rent grant, will the money be paid directly to them? Make this clear so people know you're not going to get $1,000.
Again, as I stated earlier, it will go towards their benefit, but it will not be paid to the individual. The money will be paid to folks like Duke Energy, Dan River Water, or the water bill, whatever municipality it is. It'll go to their landlord or whatever other utility that has been approved. So it will not go directly to the applicant.
But it will benefit the applicant.
It will be
And
paid
that's
on
what you
their
want.
bill.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So this grant was issued through the North Carolina Department of Commerce. As a business leader and chairman of the county commissioners, Tell us again, local businesses were affected, right?
Most definitely. We've had
Yes.
businesses close. Some will not come back. We've had layoffs in the community. Again, we've had people who have invested in rental property
Yes.
who are not seeing that investment pay off because of the moratoriums. We've had folks who couldn't work because they had to take care of their kids or their grandkids because of the school closings, and so many other things that you wouldn't think of, but they're so derivative. There's been a lot of impact in this community.
Yes, yes. Casey, the grant application was filed, as he mentioned a few minutes ago, it was filed way back in August 2020, but you all didn't get the approval until June 2021. So can you just briefly explain the process, and you all can mention some of the people involved in helping you?
Well, absolutely. Well, for those who have never worked with state or federal grants before, the initial is we send a letter that says, hey, we're interested in this grant. Here's our proposal. And they say, yeah, that looks good. Fill out the application. So that's what that letter was sent August, September of 2020. We got notification in November, hey, yes, do the full-blown grant proposal. So we did that. Once we do that, then there's different documentation along the way that the state requires kind of for each step of the process. So, a couple months would go by and we would have to turn in something else, and a couple months would go by and we'd turn in something else. And then eventually, once everything is turned in, we had a Zoom meeting because we couldn't do it face-to-face with the Department of Commerce, North Carolina Department of Commerce, and we went through our application. We went through what our program process would be, because the state only really had high-level general requirements.
Okay.
Because they were trying to get the money out as quickly as they could, they didn't spend a lot of time on the detailed specific information. So that's what we kind of had to do along that way. And so we had this meeting and we went through our detailed specific program process, identification, duplication of benefits policy, all of that kind of thing. And then the file was reviewed and a letter was sent. And once the letter was sent that said, okay, now you can start taking applications.
Good, good. And there were a lot of people involved in
There
helping you
there
all.
were, the county manager, Lance Metzler, was involved, Pat Galloway was involved, Felissa Farrell, kudos. This is not, I want to be real clear with the public, this is not a Department of Social Services program. This is being done through the United Way in conjunction with the county. But I could not have done what I did without Felissa and her help. She helped me work on the application. Several people worked on the duplication of benefits. County attorney reviewed everything that we did. So there were a lot of people involved.
Takes a whole village to
It
get things
does.
done.
It does.
It does. So will both of you all right now, just say in your own words, what would you say to someone who was thinking about applying? How would you tell them, this is what you need to do, this is a good idea, this will help you?
Well, let me start. And it's just well said, just exactly what you said. If you've been impacted, if you need help, reach out. Please, Casey's told you where and how to apply. But if you've been impacted through COVID, please do. The money's there, and if you don't qualify, they'll tell you, and no harm, no foul. But if you do, and this money can be used to help you out, wonderful. Please take advantage of it.
I agree with everything Chairman Hall said. If your income has been affected by COVID, and we're looking at anything, this isn't just that you lost your job or your plant closed down. If you had COVID and were out of work or in the hospital along those lines, if a family member had COVID or you were exposed at work and you had to quarantine, so you lost 2 weeks several times over the course of the year, you lost hours because you had to quarantine, those things qualify too. All we're interested in is, can you document that loss of income due to any COVID reason? And then we'll move on to the other requirements. But if you can document that income loss, then absolutely apply, and we'll deal with the other requirements along the way.
Thank you so much to both of you. You have certainly explained the program and how people who are in need, and if you're in need, do what Chairman Hall and what Casey Vincent just said. Do what you need to do, get the documentation, ask and ye shall receive. But you got to ask and knock on the door for help.
Yes, ma'am.
We appreciate you all for being here, and thanks for all you do for Rockingham County.
Let me just say real quickly, Casey, thank you for what you do and for what the United Way does in Rockingham County. It's a very needed organization, and along with this program, though, thank you for everything you do for the community.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And this all lets you know, Rockingham County, you're in a good place.